Okay, so second trading day in January, and it looks very much like it did yesterday. Yesterday we were sitting at a trough in a downtrend and waiting for a leg up before we could do any shorts. But because of the MACD and the short-term trades, I feel like I could probably do a long. The 15-minute chart is definitely showing it's got a lot more upward momentum, but the short-term charts are looking like it's going down. So, yeah. Went ahead and got in a long right here. It does look like it could come up a little bit more here, but I doubt that it will come up very far. Excuse me. All right, so I'm in a long, and it was right about here that I noticed, it's gone up all this amount here, but I've only made $6.25. So I realized I had accidentally left it open. I was looking at the MES yesterday, which is it's a tenth the size of the ES, which I normally trade. And unfortunately, I had accidentally placed a trade in that. So I went through and opened the ES and quickly placed the same position, the same order, a long position in that futures market as well. And probably wouldn't have done that had I not been a little distracted because, yes, the MACD looked like it was about to tip over, and it did. So it dropped down, and I ended up kind of holding that MES trade for a little while and then got out at a $50 loss. So I'm just kind of adding that onto my totals. Kind of messed up my calculations today a little bit. Okay, so now I'm in a long, and it's not looking good for short term. It looks like it's going to drop. And I could have gotten out right here at a $137 loss, which wouldn't have been too bad. But looking at that 15-minute chart, I felt like hanging on probably would pan out in the end. So I hung on, and I decided, well, I'm going to watch this level right here. If it drops below that, I'll go ahead and get out. So it hit it, bounced up. It was very helpful, very hopeful. Dropped back down again, right to that same point. Watching it closely. And at this point, I just got out because it had dropped through that support. And it is a downtrend, so I want to be very careful. So I got out at a $287 loss. And I'm proud of myself that I did get out at a loss because that's really hard for me to do. That's one of the things I've been needing to work on. So, okay, and I'm kind of watching it for a while. Not sure it's very good for either shorts or longs. The other thing that's coming down the pipe, well, the first thing is the opening bell. We're about 17 minutes away from the opening bell. And there's also a Fed report coming out at about 10 o'clock. So, waiting for it to show signs of it doing something interesting, and it looked like it kind of did there. We're looking at the MACD, which is starting to tip up, so I went ahead and did a long. This is a nice big green candle there. So I got in a long here near the lows that it has had for the entire day. Went way up, very happy. It went pretty fast there. And so I kind of missed my opportunity to get out. Bounced, went back down, break even here, went back up, and went ahead and did a reverse order just a few ticks above where I had gotten in. I don't normally do it that way, but I decided it wasn't a bad idea at this point because it is a downtrend and I didn't really want to be in a long. So, and that's right at that gold SMA, right at that resistance level. So that was a decent trade. I switched positions, and now I'm in a short, and it dropped back down. And this little leg here was this amount right here, which is $150. So that's a pretty good trade. And got out right there. I'm just going to kind of try to ride each little leg until I kind of know what it's doing. And now it's 2 minutes after the opening bell. So starting to move a little faster. Okay, I brought it down to the 4-hour chart down here. And it does look like there is no sign of it turning up. It's definitely turned over here and it's dropping. And I'm thinking that this is a pretty good support at 47.03, but that's like 60 points, 50 points below where we're sitting right now. So that's probably not going to happen all in one day. That's probably going to be the rest of the week. It'll get down to that point. So that's my long-term prediction. And I am here, I put in a short order up there at that resistance level. And it went up and it took it. So now I'm in a short, went up even further, and then immediately dropped back down again. And I went ahead and put in an exit order right at that support level. It may drop through it, but I'm happy with that amount of a trade. And it took it. So now I've whittled back all my losses and I'm sitting at a $75 profit, which is pretty much break even because of the 50 bucks I lost on the other trade. All right, I'm looking at the Fed report coming in about 1 minute. And it wasn't a big report, but you just never know what that might do. I wasn't horribly surprised that it went up like that, but kind of interesting. It did bounce back down. I had tried to get into a short near the top when I realized it had kind of turned over at this point. But it was moving so fast, it really didn't take it until I got down to this little bit of a trough right here, unfortunately. So it did bounce up, and now I'm in a short position. I'm expecting it to go up a little bit. It didn't go too far, thankfully. It did drop some more. And you can't see what happened there, but because it was happening so fast. But I did get out of that position, of that short position. I got another bit of profit. I'm sitting at $250 profit, 5 trades, and I'm out at this point. It looks like it's tipping up. Maybe it would go up, and it did. All right, now this is looking like it's a good opportunity to get in another short. And it's moving slower at this point because now we're a little bit of a distance from that Fed report. So I did a short order, which took. I'm in the short here. I went ahead and put in my pre-order, my limit order right here, expecting it to drop down at least to that point, which would be a huge trade for me. Took a little while to get around to it. Went up first, and then up a little more, and then it dropped. And now I'm at break even right here. This is where I got in. And I decided, I just don't really want to wait for it to drop all the way down there. That's a lot. So I went ahead and put in it turned into a stop order right here, which actually when it gets triggered, which I think it's like right here, it turns into a market order, and then it's a little bit, who knows what it's going to be. But I did get out at a $350 profit minus the MES loss of 50 bucks and commissions. It put me at 256. So, and it's just after 10. I think that was a pretty decent day. Not too bad on trading, actually. I'm pretty happy with what I did. So, thanks for joining me.